Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic is the darkness. Oftentimes we relate to the darkness with we relate the darkness with fear and hidden things and the unknown and our darker aspects that we consider negative. And we're moving into the winter solstice and the darkest day of the year. And so we get to just explore the darkness and the rich gifts that it also has available to us. Good morning, Rosalind. Welcome. Great to have you here with us this morning, and welcome to everybody else who's joining us. Before we get started, let's take a minute or two to get present. So let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells, all your organs, bringing vital life energy to your body and being. And as you exhale, exhale any tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine brilliant, bright light lighting you up from the inside out, illuminating, electrifying, and energizing all your cells, all your molecules, your electrons, creating a brilliant beam of light and energy from your heart out into the world. And as you exhale, exhale any remaining tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's press our palms together and vigorously rub your hands together to feel the friction and the pressure, the temperature, and all the tickling and tingling when you stop, and allow all those sensations to bring you present right here, right now, into this remarkable physical form that enables you to experience life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, I believe, let's see, tomorrow, it is tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow is the winter solstice. And it is the longest night of the year and the shortest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. And I was just listening to a really, I don't listen to astrology stuff much, but I was just listening to this wonderful accounting of what this particular solstice is about. And it's a time of new beginnings and deepening our connection to our soul and our purpose. And it just was so profound that I thought it would be a great conversation for this morning. So when we think about the darkness, we often think about our dark side, the parts that we judge, the parts that we consider negative, the parts that are hurt or wounded, and we often have a fear of the darkness because we can't see. But I want to look at the opportunities that darkness presents us with. And these are opportunities for stillness, for a deeper listening, for a quiet within ourselves. And when we can't see because it's too dark, what happens is that we have the ability to tune in more deeply to our other senses. So if we close our eyes, we can listen more clearly. And this time of darkness and this equinox, the solstice and the new moon coming, is a time for us to go within and find that sense of stillness, connect with that quietude that is available to us, and tune into our essence more directly, to look at how we can carry greater expression, greater alignment with that essence into the next days and weeks and into the coming year. It's kind of a beautiful time before the new year to be able to have an opportunity for this kind of reflection. And apparently, I don't know all the details of the planets and how, what their influences are, but it looks like it's a really good time to be connecting with the transformations that we're undergoing individually and collectively. And so this is an exciting thing to allow ourselves to tune into, rather than trying to avoid the darkness, to settle into it, to be in the cave and go into that depth of reflection and quiet, and allow ourselves to listen. It's interesting that we distract ourselves so often with all kinds of input, visual input, audio input, screens, lights, sound, action. And the winter is a time where we can go within more deeply, where we can sort of take that hibernation idea and find stillness in the darkness, rather than resisting it, to roll with it, to allow ourselves to sink more deeply into our own reverie. And by the way, if you all are wanting to engage in this conversation and you're putting in comments and I'm not responding, it's because I don't see them. So what I invite you to do is to go to the Enlightened World Network Facebook page or YouTube channel. And if you put your comments in there, I'll see them and I will respond when I do. So Rosalind says cocoon. Exactly. So, with the cold, we tend to huddle up, right? And find, good morning, Isabel. It's been a long time. Wonderful to have you here with us. Welcome. We're talking about the darkness and the impending winter solstice and the richness that's available in the darkness. I'm thinking of the darkness not as a deep, dark, scary place, but a place of black velvet where there's this softness and embracing quiet that can allow us to find a place of alignment with ourselves that we might not otherwise readily experience, to actually tune down the volume of all the external influences and go within and listen, attune ourselves more directly to the song of our soul. And that song is always there, but we don't always hear it. because it's often overlaid with all kinds of noise and distraction. And um, there's really no better time than the winter, when we kind of retreat from the external world, where we look to stay warm, and things go at a slower pace, typically in certain ways. It's an inward phase, um, sort of gathering resources, being able to um, do an internal audit and internal review. Coming on into the new year, lots and lots of people do that, is look at, well, what has this year been? What are the things that stand out in memory? What are we grateful for? What are the challenges that we have faced and interacted with? And what have we learned? What are our intentions for the coming year? What can we what's the word? Point our intentions toward. What can we hope to accomplish in terms of growth and lessons, and what are our visions for the coming year. And when I talk about that, I'm not talking about, lots of people make resolutions, like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to make X amount of money. Or what I'm talking about is intentions of being. And I think it's in this time of darkness, literally in the Northern Hemisphere, this time that we go within, maybe we can use that time of hibernation and maybe beginnings of germination to formulate new notions of what's possible, to do that internal audit and provide ourselves with intentions for our own evolution. So Rosalind says we can set aside time for ourselves and not wait for a medical condition to to slow us down in order to look within. Good for you to say that, Rosalind. Oh my gosh. I have some of my clients are A-type personalities that are, do, push. And they won't slow down until they have no choice. And I think what you're saying, Rosalind, is so important, to take time for ourselves, to be present. And Isabel says, living in a peaceful world. Beautiful. So peace begins with us, in our own peacefulness. And then we get to propagate that outward also. Isabel says, love and heal myself. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And in healing ourselves, I think what we get to do also is to have some reverence for the wounds that we have, because it's those wounds that are the seed for our wisdom in so many ways, in so many cases. That the the pains and wounds that we've suffered, in the healing of them, in the transiting through them, we gain perspectives and a depth of understanding that we would never have had access to had we not had those challenges. And so this is also where the reverie, the black velvet of the darkness, can embrace us and allow us to feel the textures of our lives in a different way. I think what happens is that we move through life so quickly. You know, we're distracted so much of the time in our lives, distracted by things that we think are important, things that have to be done, and places to go, people to see, the doingness of life. And this is such a cool thing. So I have one client who is kind of a taskmaster for themselves, more than one, but this one in particular. And they don't typically allow themselves to relax. They consider that frivolous, and or have considered it frivolous. And so it was a massive breakthrough when they told me that they spent the weekend doing nothing, watched TV, read books, went to a couple holiday parties, and they said that now they were feeling like they had been, that was a transgression, that they had been bad and wasted all this time and weren't serving in the way that they should have been, or that they had the capacity to. And then in our conversation, what we discovered is that through that period of relaxation and receptivity, in the process of watching TV, binging on Netflix, that there were certain revelations that occurred to them actually about love and a connectedness to a part of themselves that they hadn't really been present to. And as we spoke more about it, it became very clear that out of that weekend of doing nothing, supposedly, what happened was that their deepened sense of being and connection took a quantum leap and gave them a new direction in their work and the calling to be more explicit in their expression of love and the importance of love in all things. And it was very, very profound. And I just found it so fascinating that this person stopped pushing, stopped the doing, and allowed for the being. And what emerged was revelatory. It was really super profound. So Isabel says, finally, I am sending love and forgiveness to circumstances and people who were a big lesson in my life. That's beautiful, Isabel. Love and forgiveness, and maybe even get to a point of gratitude. And Jenny says, I'm lost and searching to find the connection, lacking love and connections in my life. So Jenny, I know that you said that you had joined a couple meetup groups, so you've taken some positive action. And I think that there's more of that available, like to continue looking for ways to connect and allow yourself to connect more deeply to yourself, to the richness inside. I know, in the space of pain and depression, it's very, very hard to to feel higher tone emotions. I wrestled very profoundly with depression for most of my life, and I'm not pretending that it's an easy thing to do to pull yourself out. And the truth is that we can only do that for ourselves. It helps to find other people to connect with. It helps to find things that we enjoy, even if it's just a fraction of a tone higher in frequency. Every little tiny step helps. And I remember when I was super depressed and feeling very hopeless, I I went out and I took photographs of nature, just because that's something that not only distracted me, but really engaged me, something that I enjoyed. And that helped to elevate my energy. Singing or turn on music and dance, even if you're crying while you do it. It will help to raise your frequency and shift that energetic pattern. It takes work. It takes a commitment, and it's not easy. And we can very readily fall back into that deep, deep, dark hole, and it feels like we can't get out sometimes. And I remember asking myself, what would I enjoy in this moment? What would I enjoy? And allow yourself that, because it's a life-saving measure, to be willing to listen to, first of all, to give the love to oneself that is behind that question. Like, what can I do or think about, or what can I do to enjoy something in this moment? And that's a gift of love to ourselves, to do that. And by showing greater love to ourselves, it can help to pry us out of that deep hole of despair and depression, little by little, little by little. Every little step is progress, and we get to put our attention on that progress also. Jenny says, I want to share some good news. That's beautiful. Good news. I'm delighted. My daughter's getting induced labor today. My baby granddaughter could arrive today. Congratulations, Jenny. That's a beautiful thing. And thank you so much for sharing that. That's lovely. So darkness can be our friend, and when we oftentimes what happens is we segregate parts of ourselves and we shuffle them off into the darkness so that they can't be seen. And then we avoid the darkness because we don't want to look at all that stuff. And the thing is that when we are able to integrate all of those aspects, the darkness and the light, all of it, because it all makes us who we are. When we're able to integrate all of it, that's when we become whole. And the darkness doesn't have to be a scary place. It can be a place of solitude, cocooning, comfort, restoration, regeneration. Jenny says healing vibes. Exactly. And Jenny, it just occurs to me that music might be a really positive thing for you, is to just be finding music that lifts you. Or for years I just would sing Amazing Grace and cry and sing, and I think that actually helped me through. So anyway, that's it for this morning. Befriend the darkness is the message, I think, for the day. And allow it to be a place of rest and restoration. So Rosalind says, GP Walsh has a free resource online called The Angels in the Basement. That sounds really cool. Very cool. Isabel says, and to me at times gave me the thrive to pull out of a situation. I think that's music that you're talking about for sure. And Jenny says, yes, I sing a lot in the car. So singing is another way to really change our vibration, literally, because singing is vibration. And so that might be a really, really great thing for you to do that can help shift the energy. Anyway, I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection, and I go live here each weekday morning on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page and YouTube channel at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I invite you to check out the other awesome programming on Enlightened World Network, Enlightened World Living, EWN One with the Earth. And until next time, so